Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Jesus said, "From the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So they no longer are two, but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, no human being must separate." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus.
Please be seated for a few moments. My friends, at the beginning of our celebration this afternoon, I said we gather here to witness a celebration of love. This is a very joy-filled, a very happy occasion. In a few moments, Tim and Lisa will come to God's altar and pledge their lives to each other, totally, wholly, and completely, from this day forward, until death do them part. And what they are about to do is truly a beautiful thing, but it is not an easy thing. Many of you already know that living this life of marriage can be a challenge. Along with the good days and the happy times that await this couple, there will also be some very difficult and sad times as well. And yet today they are promising to remain by each other's side through the joys of married life and through the pains of married life. This couple has a lot to look forward to. As their future unfolds, there will be the celebration of birthdays, anniversaries, God willing, the birth of children, maybe getting a new job, a new home. There's going to be many happy occasions. But there will also be sad times. So that is why it is important that you are here today. You are not here merely as someone who will fill the body of this church to make it look full. You're not here merely as someone who will present this couple with a gift on their special day. But you are here today as a witness to the commitment that they are about to make. But even beyond that, you are here for them as a support, especially those of you in the very front of the church, those of you who are closest to Lisa and Tim. Share with them their happy days. Enjoy them as they celebrate, but also be there for them when the storms of married life arise. And when those storms come, remind them of this day and this love that has brought them to God's house. And no matter what the world presents to them, their love and their friendship will see it through. So my friends, at this time, I invite each and every one of you to show some sign of your love and support for Lisa and Tim as they begin this life together as husband and wife. My last parish assignment, which was St. Simon and Jude Parish in Westchester. To the church, I would be celebrating Mass up at the altar, and the readings would be going on, and I would be looking out into the congregation. And I can remember myself saying, "That hottie sitting there." So I made sure that I was always in the back of church to say hello and goodbye. So as we would say hello and goodbye, I learned a little bit about her. But I could not remember her name. So after that, when I would sit up at the priest's chair, I'd say, "There's that chick from discovered that whatever need our parish had, or whatever request we put to her, she would say yes. And that was a great gift to our parish, to have someone who is young and energetic about their faith, being an example, not a showy example, but just a genuine example to other people in our parish. I spoke with my former pastor and a very dear friend of mine this morning when I was at that parish. And Father Meehan and Sister Rose both extend their heartfelt greetings to you guys on this day. And they are extremely happy for you. We knew that when we asked Lisa to help out, she would be dependable. We could count on her, and she was up to the task. Until she met Tim. He took her away from us. Now, I also remember my first meeting with Tim. Because Lisa, Amy and Dave, a couple who were sitting out here, myself, and another priest, Father Tom, were in charge of the youth ministry. And that's one of the things I knew I could trust this group of people with. Because I knew they were already a unit, a team, because they worked together at the same place. So it's very easy to take these three people and ask them to take this responsibility on. But a part of this responsibility meant that we'd have to meet periodically. It was either at Lisa's apartment or at Dave and Amy's home, and we would gather for dinner. This particular night, we were at Dave and Amy's, and Lisa tells us about Tim. Now, I don't know if all of you know how they got together. I'm sure most of you know that they are a success story of Match.com. So after dinner, the five of us went upstairs to the computer and we sat around checking out this guy, Tim. And I'm standing over Lisa's shoulder saying, "You better be good to you. You better treat you right." And we're reading his bio and checking him out. I think he looks all right. And then they start dating. And then we hear more and more about Tim. And then I really give Tim a lot of credit because he came to one of those dinners I just described. And it was like Lisa had three older brothers sitting there when Tim came. And he passed the test. He was good to her. He was kind. And whenever he stepped out of the house for a little fresh air or a little smoke, we talked about it. And it didn't take very long for us to realize that not only was Tim good for Lisa, they were good for each other. And it was very easy for us to see that a friendship was fast forming. And then love grew. And I remember the day that I spoke with Lisa, and I asked her directly, "Is Tim the one?" And she said, "Father Joe, he is the one. He doesn't know it yet, but he's now." And for us who know them, we knew pretty soon too that they were the one for each other. And so even though Tim took her away from Simon and Jude, and we no longer could call on her to read at Mass or to work with the youth group, God directed her life in a new way. And I believe that even though it happened through Match.com, God was not absent from this getting together. And that's what we give thanks to God for today. That this couple are ready to give themselves to each other forever. I asked him in the back room, "Are you ready to do this for the rest of your life?" And his answer to me was, Yeah, I guess so. No, I'm not lying. But I believe in his heart and in Lisa's heart. They're ready to do it forever. And not without you. And not without the support of the church. To see them through their good times and bad times, their joys and their sorrows. I say this at a lot of the weddings I perform because I really believe it in my heart. I believe that married love is very similar to the love that Jesus Christ has for each and every one of us. All we have to do is look to this crucifix, and we can see clearly how much Jesus loves us. So much so that he was willing to suffer, die, and rise again, that we may share in his everlasting love. His love for us is a very selfless, very giving kind of love. The very same thing can be said of married love. When two people love each other in such a way that they live for the other person, that they live to make the other person's life more happy, more fulfilled, more complete, then their love becomes the mirror of Christ's love for each and every one of us. Lisa and Tim, it is our prayer for you this day, your family and friends who have gathered here with you, that as you leave this church and begin this new life as husband and wife, that you may always know the love, the peace, the mercy, and compassion of Jesus Christ in your heart and in your home. And if, God willing, you are blessed with the gift of children, may you always share this deep abiding love that you have for each other with all the children that God gives you. And may their love be returned to you all the days of your life. May God bless you today and the entirety of your married life. If you are now ready, I invite you to come forward to God's altar to exchange your marriage vows.